I was born in Del Rio, Texas in March 23rd, 1955. The name, my dad's Pablo, his name is Pablo, and my mom's name Lee. My parents were born in Ciudad Acuña Coahuila, Mexico. They wanted to come to the States because they wanted to have a family and they wanted to raise their family in the United States. They felt like, first of all, having a family, they wanted their kids to be educated because they themselves did not get enough education that I'll go through in Mexico. And planning to have children, they said, no, we want our children to be educated and to be able to go beyond what we could have offered them in Mexico. Growing up in Del Rio was a small little town. It was like, I would say at that time, 80,000 people. And it was a very close-knit community with a mix of cultures, from Latinos, Hispanics, white people, African American, Asian. Of course, the majority of the population was, Hispanic. Well, it was sunny most of the time. It was warm. And of course, during that time, during the summer, we would go swimming in the river. And then afterwards, of course, we always had, like a picnic or something, us kids. In school, we would try really hard not to communicate with my classmates in English, in Spanish, so that we can actually, get more in speaking the English language and learning the words and pronouncing them correctly. After school, then we would come home and that's Spanish was predominant language because my parents, were not, understanding they didn't know how to speak, English. So one of the things that we did as children was we would go out and play, and we're able to, incorporate our, numbers and, alphabet and, the different words that we heard, just practice. That's how we would practice. And we felt really good. We felt like, wow, we're really getting this down pretty good, Our parents want to make sure that we were involved in the different activities of our culture. So one of the things that they would take us to is to the arena of the bullfights.
Este es el corrido del caballo blanco que en un día domingo feliz arrancará.
And then we also had the opportunity to be entertained by artists from Mexico, and like Vicente Fernandez and Lola Beltran, and that was a fun time just to be together. So for me it was a shock to be coming to Oregon because of the fact that, coming from Texas to going to California, and to me the weather meant a lot, the climate, the people as well. Back in 1980, we arrived here in Oregon, we being my husband and I, and our youngest daughter, who was 1 year old at the time. And I found out that back in 1980, there was not a whole lot of Latinos, in this community. And I didn't see, like back home, we would always see people out in the, farm areas where the migrant workers, would be picking up the produce. And so to me, it's like to get acclimated to Oregon was quite a change, One of the things that I did was when the girls started school, I volunteered at their elementary school and worked with his, Latino kids, that had come that their parents had brought them from Mexico to attend school. Back in 2003, I decided that I needed to kind of like brush up on my Spanish, considering that I was, like I said, there was not a whole lot of Latinos to be able to communicate with, and only my people back home when I would call them. And so I felt like I wanted to get a little bit more involved with learning the grammar, learning conversation, learning pronunciation, learning new words, learning everything. So so I took the classes. I took the first year classes here at Lane, and also I thought, okay, this is really good. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Then I took the second year, and I took the second year with the instructor named Sylvie, which was pretty encouraging. So, and it was pretty concrete. By then it was pretty concrete, and all the activities that were involved in taking, this class, the 200 level. After the 2-year program, my goal was to go look for work at the SOJC school district. And so I was talking to Sylvie, and I was telling her, okay, I'm done now. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for the program and all the things that I've learned and gleaned, and that I'm, just thanking them because, first of all, I am I am the fruit of their labor. And it says, well, Norma, you know the program, you know the tutoring that are needed for becoming a tutor. And I said, Sylvie, well, okay. I said, okay. So she took me to talk to the coordinator, and from there I took the test and I passed it. And by the time I knew I started in January 2005. I have seen many students, one in particular, to see the excitement when she comes in and says, okay, all I want is to do conversation. I don't want to even look at the book, because our instructor says, do not look at the book, just be focused on what's going on in class. And so just to see the part of the learning process that takes place, this particular student is just excited. In my home right now is predominantly English speaking. I always go back to remember your roots, remember where you came from. And I will never forget that, to be there. In the community, I get connected with people, like when I go to the farm and go get the produce, there's some migrant workers, in the field, and I want to be able to have them know that there's people recognizing you out there, hardworking. I use Latina to describe myself because basing it on that I identified as being born in the USA. To be Latina is to continue following some of the culture things that we did back home, which is something that I also incorporated that so that my children can know that there's, they're part of that culture as well. To not forget that their mom